What's up YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. And for today's video, we actually have something very intriguing for you guys. But before we get into the video, if you guys enjoy the video and you guys want to see more, excuse me, and you guys want to see more WWE topic videos in the future, which get posted every Thursday and sometimes on Wednesdays and weekends. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. Guys, we are 46 subscribers away from 200, and as I've said in previous videos, if this channel gets to 200 subs, I will open up this Korean Strike of Neos box in its entirety on the channel, but excuse me, but if the channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare. Will it happen? Will it actually happen? Could we pull a collector's rare? Could we pull this guy right here? You guys are going to have to subscribe to the channel and get the channel to 200 subs to find out. But with that being said, let's get straight into it because, as you guys can tell by the title of the video, yeah, apparently the question now becomes, is Vince McMahon running... Is Vince McMahon going to be the head of creative once again? I think I might title the video that. You guys will probably see. You guys will see once the video goes up. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting. And I say that because if you guys watched Raw this past Monday, let's be real, Raw sucked. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Watching, having Matt Riddle return to WWE for the first time in almost a year was awesome. Having him back in WWE was awesome. But the idea of Brock Lesnar turning heel for the first time in years, in what, 3 years? Yeah, 3 years. Is crazy. Turning on Cody Rhodes right before arguably one of the biggest tag team matches in WWE history. In the history of Raw, having Roman Reigns team up with the Bloodlines Enforcer Solo Sikoa against the Beast and the American Nightmare. And honestly, that part I was intrigued because we don't know if no one knows what direction they're going with that. Maybe they might do. Ooh, excuse me. They might do Rhodes and Lesnar at Backlash in Puerto Rico, which is possible, but who knows? But I can tell you one thing right now. Vince was actually running Monday Night Raw this past week, and he made so many changes to the show, including the idea of that tag team match actually going through. Like, it was interesting. But with Vince potentially becoming the head of creative once again, the question becomes this: the talent that Triple H brought back, could they leave WWE once again? That is the big question. So the talent that came back to WWE under Triple H, you have Hit Row, which are which are Top Dollar, B-Fab, and Ashante the Adonis. Then you got Braun Strowman, followed by Dakota Kai, Io Sky, who else? LA Knight is definitely another one. Johnny Gargano, Dexter Lumis. They could all even also Candice LeRae they could all leave WWE if Vince is running WWE as head of creative, which it is a possibility, but what I find even more intriguing is that Fightful Select, which, big shout out, no copyrights, of course, as always. Apparently, there have been numerous WWE talent that were disappointed, believing that this past weekend was going to be a way for Vince to wedge himself back into the fold to WWE, which is possible. But here's the intriguing part. Vince was here in LA for the entire week, WrestleMania week, for the Hall of Fame ceremony, NXT Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania Saturday, WrestleMania Sunday, and of course this past Monday on Raw. But here's the interesting thing. SmackDown this Friday is going to be in Portland, Oregon. So if he does go over there, it's going to have a negative impact on the show, because we might see someone from NXT who's only been there for only a couple months get called up, which some people might think that's a good idea. I see it as good talent wasted. That's how I see it. It's hard to say, whether or not it's hard to say whether or not he will be in Portland, but here's the thing. Fightful also noted that they heard from at least two talent, including one who's near the top of the card, if you will, said that they will most likely request their releases if Vince is head of creative. And two people that I should also note that actually requested their release, who actually got their releases granted, ironically enough, are the Dyad. And you guys are wondering who's the Dyad? So if you guys watched NXT Stand and Deliver this past Saturday morning, Jagger Reed and Rip Fowler, known as Jagger Reed and Rip Fowler, they've requested their release from WWE, but apparently now, their release has been denied. And this was actually reported by Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, stating that their releases supposedly have been granted. However, we found out that their release is up in the air, and it might not be official. So they may end up staying in NXT, and this is all because of the fact that it's not just because of the fact that Vince is supposedly going to be the head of creative, but it's also because of the fact that their time in NXT has been a bit interesting, to say the very least. Obviously aligning themselves with Ava and Joe Gacy in the Schism, has helped boost their their morale just a little bit. But the problem is that they've had several opportunities at Tag Team Gold in NXT, but they never got the chance to they never got the chance to capitalize on that big opportunity. So it's basically it was basically a big opportunity wasted. And so now if their releases do get granted and they are released from WWE, then it's possible that we might see even more NXT talent get released, including Joe Gacy, possibly even also including Ava, which is a possibility. But we might also see guys like Oral Mensa, guys like Grayson Waller, guys like Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker. We might see these guys get released from WWE under the creative mind of Vince, which is possible, but we don't really know for sure. But we do know that WWE has now officially aligned themselves with the company known as Endeavor. Big shout again. No copyrights, of course. But now with that being dealt with, WWE has now aligned themselves with the UFC, which is going to be interesting because obviously Brock Lesnar is a former UFC champion. Ronda Rousey won, I think, the first ever UFC women's champion as well. And not only that, but when you think about it, Bobby Lashley is also a former MMA star in Bellator, so that's something to think about. But again, the question basically just comes down to what will Vince do if he is the head of creative? Odds are we might see the term WrestleMania Backlash come back. The King and Queen of the Ring event that's gonna be taking place in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia this upcoming summer. I think next month it's gonna happen. That might end up getting scrapped, which is something that I know a lot of fans don't want to see. They don't want to see that event get scrapped, but it is what it is. But I do want to get your guys' opinion on this. I know this was a relatively short video. I apologize, but this was just something that I wanted to talk about. And also before I forget, another thing that I also want to mention as well before I forget, the question being, of being whether or not, as far as the tag team division goes, with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn now champions, Vince could also, if he is the head of creative, he could have Owens and Zayn drop the titles back to the Usos, which means that storyline would have been completely wasted for nothing, plain and simple. But with that being said, I want your guys' honest opinion. Let me know down in the comments below. Answering the question of the day, which is this: do you believe that Vince should stay in WWE as the head of creative, or should he just stay as a You know what? Screw that. Screw that. Screw that. Question of the day. Post in the comments below. Answer this question. Do you want to see Vince McMahon as the head of creative, or do you want to see Triple H remain head of creative? Let me know down in the comments below, and that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more WWE topic videos in the future, which get posted every Thursday and sometimes on Wednesdays and weekends, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.